for joining us. Vincent, we were talking about, it's interesting you mentioned human resources. Now, not just human resources, but it seems that because there is such a different level of policies, there are different policies, human resources, natural resources. How can we, the 10 countries, start to level the playing field in order for us to have equitable development and growth for the AEC?
So Florence, the source of all competitive advantage, the source of all innovation, the source of all implementation is high quality human capital. In other words, talent.
Yeah.
Truth be told, across Southeast Asia, no country has got its necessary share of human capital. Indonesia is a large country, it doesn't have enough. Singapore is a very small country, it doesn't have enough. So everybody is fighting to get talent into the country. Now, the long-term solution is to develop your human capital, training, education, vocational, but it will take too long. The short term is to import talent. And there, I think some countries are winning.
Okay.
Some countries are still very guarded about visas and work permits and all that, and I think you should be at the lower level because you want to create jobs for your people.
True.
But at the highest level, the talents who can get things done, the talents who can create companies, innovate businesses, put new models in place, these people actually create jobs.
So, but you can still expect some economies to protect, to actually implement protectionism. It's not just open the market to during.
So ultimately, protectionism will hurt rather than help.
Okay.
So it's a short-term help, but in the long term, you can imagine you and me as consumers, if the market is protected, we cannot buy a better quality product at a lower price than we would like to. So in the end, you do hurt your own consumers.
Yeah.
And you also make your own companies that you are so-called protecting softer because they don't have to go through the hard grind. So I would say that it's a short-term measure. You can protect for a while, but you must have a timeline to get rid of somebody's protection. And a lot of this, as I said earlier, is in non-trade barriers, non-tariff barriers, and you need to make sure that they know that full free competition is coming, but you need to give them the most important weapon to compete, which is talent. And some of them can't find enough local talent. You need to allow them to import foreign talent.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say are Indonesia's unique values besides in terms of economy? Besides that, it provides a very large market to the other economies. What are the Indonesia's unique quality that investors are actually looking into?
Yeah. So, Indonesia is a resource-rich country. There is, at the moment, still a lot of potential for local value add. So you have iron ore, for example. Instead of the iron ore being value added and turned into steel in this country, in fact, long steel, flat steel, and some of the downstream products, iron ore is being mined and sent away, and then come back.
Yeah.
So Indonesia can do a lot more of these industries, and I think the Jokowi government has already done some of that. There are some iron ore smelters now already set up in Indonesia to
start
adding value to the local content. So that's one. Second, if you think about, it's not just the size, but the potential for growth. Right? Indonesia right now, it's about $4,000-5,000 GDP per capita. Right? It very naturally, it can go into the middle income and still not have to worry about the middle income trap that some of your neighboring countries are falling into. So you can double your GDP per capita very quickly over the next 5-10 years.
And how can Indonesia avoid that trap, the middle income trap?
Again, human capital development.
Okay.
You cannot leapfrog from middle income, from low income to high income. It's an evolution. A lot of countries get stuck in middle income because they suddenly lack the human capital to become high income. Because to do high income jobs, you need to have high quality human capital. So Indonesia should really start investing in the human capital development.
That's the most important.
That is the most important, and you have more people than any. And God is very fair. God, because there are 250 million Indonesians, God has given you more talent than any other country in
Yes.
Southeast
Now,
Asia.
we were just talking on the sidelines earlier about Jokowi's economic policies, and you have this great optimism that he's already saying, doing, or making the right decision in terms of trying to make sure that we reach our economic targets. But also at the same time, what's more important is for Jokowi to implement his policies.
Yes, I think he's saying the right things.
Okay.
The policy announcement, the fact that Indonesia is open for business, trying to liberalize, even oil and gas downstream is getting some liberalization. So all of this seems to be like the right moves. But I think the proof is in the implementation. So we should, I really hope the president and his team all the best in making sure that results do come. Because I think there is this saying, in many places when all is said and done, sometimes more is said than done.
Being done.
So I think now, the focus is on getting things done. And I would have a few sort of tips on how to ensure. I think the president and his team is providing leadership. So that's one very clear. But I think there are three other factors. One of those factors is navigation. You need to have a very clear, very detailed plan for things to get done. So I think he needs to detail that out. Second, it's ownership. The people who are implementing needs to own this, because right now it's from his office and his ministers. So he needs to have a series of engagements with the stakeholders such that they own this. And finally, and most important, and get back to my human capital point, the team needs to be able to carry this out. So I think he needs to get the right people on board, and there is a shortcut though. If he feels that there's any team that of his that is unable to carry this out, you can seek private sector help to get this done.
There's no shame in doing that.
In fact, he can only actually enable his team and help boost the capability of his team by having these strategic partnerships with the private sector.
Yeah, and this is what this forum is all about, in trying to harness more partnership between public and the private sector.
That's right.
Vincent, thank you so much for joining us right here.
Thank you.
And that was our conversation with Vincent Chin, the Senior Partner and Managing Director of Southeast Asia from BCG. And stay right here as we have more updates on the events and discussions topics being discussed right here at the World Economic Forum on East Asia. Coming right up, we will have Blaze Hope to give you more reports.